So Galio is not very good right now. He's gotten hit by that one W nerf a couple patches ago. It hurt him pretty bad for support, so I'm gonna put him at C. He still has CC and Global. Blitzcrank, I mean, solid. Yeah, he's been solid for many patches. Not many changes went on, and he always beat like the enchanters if he lands hook. Like most of his matchups are good if he lands hook, TBH. But it's a tough skill shot to land. Everything's pretty mobile. I think Blitzcrank is good for people who understand how to play around vision. Thresh, Thresh still super solid. He got hit by his pretty small nerf bit back then, but still topping the win rate charts. Leona still really good. Alistar's in this weird spot where his cooldowns are really long, and he didn't really benefit that much from the phase rush nerfs either. I actually rarely see people play Alistar. I'm actually pretty low on him right now. I think his matchups right now, like, he loses Thresh, he loses Leona, he'll even lose Janna, he'll lose Lulu, like, he doesn't even win Braum. I don't like him right now. Bard, I'll put Bard in B tier. I think he's too weak in lane. I don't like weak laners. Lulu, I actually like Lulu a lot. The Shurelya's nerfs affected her a bit, but she's still just really solid. She doesn't have losing matchups. And she scales fine, early game fine, mid game fine. She's a really well-rounded pick. Put Blitz in F because I hate him. Well, nobody likes him. Karma. You know what? Karma I actually think is A. What she does do better than Lulu is she does get push. I think the reason why I'm moving her down to A is because Shurelya's did get nerfed on this patch, and she was one of the big abusers of that item. She would be S if it was prior to the nerf. Now I think she's A because she actually loses these matchups really hard, the Thresh one, and she loses to Bliss. She can't lose to Leona. She needs to play flawlessly. When you make one mistake on Karma, it's so devastating. But the thing is, when you play Karma, the game's in your hands first because you're winning so hard early game, and then it's kind of in your hands to throw it to them. But if you throw once, you get snowballed upon pretty hard. She's also pretty compromised. I think she needs like a good frontliner like Zin or Hecarim, something like that. Lux. So I actually think I'm gonna upgrade Lux to A. I think she, and not just for the last game. I had a hypothesis that she would be good, and last game kind of just confirmed it for me. I think she's just best users of like the Ludens buff. We're not gonna do Brand because if we do Brand, then we're just gonna have to do all of the off-meta ones, and then I'll just do the ones that I think are the best. And Brand, I still think a little bit too vulnerable. Seraphine, I'll upgrade her to B because Moonstone did get buffed, but she herself has gotten so many nerfs to the point where it feels like she's just lacking a lot in just base damages. Braum is solid. I'd put him in B as well. He's not a great pick for solo queue, but he's just overall really solid. If you pick him at the right time, you want to pick him with lots of auto attackers, like against divers. He's really good. Nami, I need to speed up. I'm doing this too slowly. Okay, I guess this one might be controversial, but I threw Sona up here because I actually think Moonstone has quietly been getting so many buffs. Slow, like 1% at a time, 1% at a time. Already last patch I thought was decent. And I think this patch is just like, it could already be like at the tipping point where it's just one of the best support item right now. So yeah, I'm really high on enchanters this patch. You think Sona's better than Seraphine? Oh yeah, for sure. I think Seraphine doesn't use Moonstone as well. I would argue that Sona actually scales better. Her laning should be easier as well. I do think Seraphine probably better in competitive, but in solo queue, Sona, you get the scaling, you get the good laning. I think Yumi is actually also very solid right now. I do think support is at an all-time high for this season. They're really strong right now. Actually, that's not true. Back when Moonstone was like Omega broken, support's good too. I think we're slowly coming back to supports being turbo broken again. I don't like Morg. We had a really good game of Morg the other day, but the reason why I don't like her is because it feels like in lane, missing binding is too punishing because you don't have anything else in your kit. your spell shield's like so long, 20 some seconds cooldown, and then W is not helpful for anything except maybe taking CS. Tarek is actually pretty good. He's pretty solid right now. Tom Kench, we tried him like 3 or 4 games. I think one comment that really stood out to me when I was playing Tom Kench was like, I used my ulti W. I was like, wow, that was so cool. Like, I brought them in and knocked them up after. And then somebody in the chat's like, wow, you just used 3 spells to do the same thing a Thresh Lantern would do. And I was like, oh. We'll put in Set because she's pretty common. I'm going to put him at C. I don't actually like playing Set that much after the phase rush nerfs. I think nowadays, sometimes they go Conquer and Aftershock, whatever it is. I'm not a huge fan of him support. I mean, he's playable support, but I think he's in a very niche spot where he's really good against dive. Like, if you're against a Camille, like, Set can ulti Camille out and cancel her ulti. Stuff like that. Or like solo frontline comps where they have to play front to back and can ult the front to the back like that. I think it's good. Senna is actually after the Thunder nerfs, I'm not sure. But I think at the very least, she's a solid B. If not A. I'm pretty sure she's A. I mean, Senna support is always like so greedy because she isn't really providing your team much. Except like, you're practically a second AD carry. Like, you don't really play like a support, I would say. So I would say like something like Lux has more utility than Senna. Senna does have her like Shroud thing, but Lux is way better at getting vision. Senna doesn't really have a way of face checking for vision, and so Pike is B. He seems a little useless. I like Pike right now because his itemization is like really nice. I'm not sure. I think the Prowler's Claw change didn't affect him that much, right? Lucid Boots is amazing on him. Serpent's Fang, Prowler's Claw, super good. Like, covers a lot of his old weaknesses. Prowler's Claw makes it so that his picks are more reliable, and Serpent makes him spike extremely fast. I've played Pike games where I wasn't even fed, and I could still one-shot people by myself, you know, with Hail of Blades, auto, with just one lethality item. Q auto, or QE auto, ulti. I think he's an underrated pick. He's definitely playable, if not like pretty good. What card I'm gonna put in? Actually, I'm not sure after the Australia's nerf. I do think the Australia's nerf hurt him a bit. Maybe B then. Swain, probably I'd put in. I mean, my worry about Swain is that it's just the combos. You can only play him with like Draven or your ADC needs to be way stronger than the enemy ADC to make Swain work. Because if your ADC is weaker and you fish for E and you miss, you just lose. you can die. Like, but if your ADC is stronger, like Draven for example, where like even if you miss your E, Draven can push them back 1v2 and it doesn't matter, then I think it's fine. I want to say in like most average games, Zyra would be like A, but I would say for the purpose of my games, I'll put her in B. I think she's a little bit tough to pull off. Varus to get nerfed, and I do think that's one of her best combos. I think her other good combos are Ashe and Jhin. Jhin being okay right now. Like, I would play Jhin Zyra right now. Like, my gut is telling me Ahri's still A, but I've been playing really bad on her recently. I'll put her in B. This season, he's just feels so weak. Like, I don't do enough damage to kill my lane, and then I'm like permanently behind in items. I don't know. I don't like him. I don't think he's D. It might be F. Greg, it's the Q nerf. I actually kind of hurt him a bit for support. I didn't. Before you could like kind of spam Q poke on them, but now he's more like an E bot now. But I think his E got nerfed too, so I don't know. He doesn't. I mean, he's not bad. Gragas is pretty solid. Zillion post Australia's nerf probably also B. I mean, the reason why Zillion's always going to Soulky is because he scales out of control, and Soulky laners aren't going to punish you. So a lot of the times you can just get your scaling for free, and he synergizes really well with like the junglers being played right now. I know Nico's a pretty common one to rate. I'll put her in C. I mean, she's just really good at laning. I would say she's one of the best laners out of all of these supports. The issue with her is like post laning, she feels so bad. Like, to have an impact in a team fight, you'd have to overplay like every single fight. Like, if you don't have flash, good luck getting a good ulti, and then even if you get a good ult, like if they have flash or stopwatch, like you just are useless for the whole fight. Talia, I think, is can make a comeback. She does really well with Ludens and Everfrost buff. And I think if I was to play like one of these AP supports with cheese, Talia is actually really good. I think stuff like Serath and Vel'Koz, all this stuff like playable right now. Right now the AP items, like even Ziggs, you know, all this is playable right now.